I got into long-term care a long time ago. So it was a family business for us back in Ohio. And my grandparents actually started one of the first skilled nursing facilities in the state of Ohio. And it was in a little town called Bluffton, Ohio. I had the opportunity to grow up in that environment and in a family business who was caring for a lot of elderly people. And my first memories of being in my grandparents' nursing home was great. We would go down and we would visit the nursing home, and we had a chance to, when I was 5 or 6 years old, sing and perform little piano recitals. And then as I grew up a little bit more, I got to work at the nursing home, and which meant everything from mowing lawns to serving food. So just did a little bit of everything. So it was really something that I was blessed to have a part of early on in life. My grandparents got involved in the business really almost by accident. They were hard workers, and they were blue-collar workers. My grandpa worked multiple shifts at a factory in Fostoria, Ohio, and they saved and they saved, and they eventually had enough money where they bought their own motel, and it was a motel called Moonwings Hotel in Bluffton, Ohio. And so they were owning and operating a motel. And then during the 70s, they built one of those super highways. So I-75 came through, and you would think that that would be a good thing for the little motel there at Moonwings, but it actually, in a weird way, it cut off their access to the roads, or to the main roads where they were getting most of their customers from. So they had this, I think, 20 or so room motel that they had to find a different use for. And so my grandmother came up with the idea where she realized that there was a need in that area for long-term care. And so they went to the bank and they got a loan, and they ended up converting this old motel into what was called Richland Manor Nursing Home. And so that was back in the 70s. So it was really almost by accident, but they were innovative enough and thoughtful enough to come up with a different use for that building. And so that's how it all got started. It was a true family business, so it was 3 generations. My father took that nursing home over, and then after college I went to work there and eventually bought that from my father as well. I feel really blessed to be part of something that is helping people. The long-term care, that operates a big spectrum of different services and things. And so I started in the skilled nursing area, but eventually we started moving into assisted living. And then I was just very interested in dementia care and Alzheimer's. And really, one of the primary reasons that I got into dementia care was I saw a lot of bad places. I saw a lot of situations where places just weren't providing the type of care, the type of services that I would necessarily myself want to be in, and I certainly wouldn't want one of my loved ones to be in as well. So it was really a big opportunity to help people, with dementia, and to provide a different environment, a different setting, a different training for the team members. So it was a great opportunity. And honestly, I just felt comfortable in that environment. So out of all the different aspects of, long-term care, it seems like there's such an opportunity to make a lot bigger impact and to help a really big number of people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. And that continues through today. The impact that it helps me feel providing care and services for people with dementia is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. There's tough days, but there's a lot of great days too. So there's an opportunity to work with so many terrific people, across the whole spectrum, across Azura. It's gratifying, but it's also a lot of hard work. And frankly, it's a lot of responsibility too. It's a privilege to do what we're doing. You think about the residents that we have the privilege of caring for. These are people who have fought wars, who've built companies, who've raised generations of families. And so for them to come to us during the times that they need it is a privilege, and it's a responsibility. So it can be, it's extremely gratifying, but there's a lot of hard work involved too. Family has been personally touched by Alzheimer's and by dementia. My grandma Marge actually had dementia during her kind of final days, and Grandma Marge was a hoot. She was my redheaded, fiery Irish, you know those redheads, you know? But she was just a wonderful, amazing woman who raised, 6 kids and I don't even know how many grandkids, and was just really the driver of our family. And to see her kind of go through some of those final stages was heart-wrenching for a lot of us and a lot of our family members. And it was back in Ohio where she went through that, and I wish we had, an Azura back there for her, because the places that she went to and the experiences that she had were I think a lot different than what we're able to provide here at Azura. So it was tough. It was tough on the family members. It was tough on myself. But it just reiterates the fact that we've got an opportunity here to make a lot of differences in people's lives. I think about Grandma Marge a lot, and everything that we do, from the way that we design our buildings, to the way that we provide our culinary experience, to the way that we train our team members, is really geared towards how would I want one of my loved ones to be served and to be cared for. And that's universal throughout, I think, the company. So what would I want for my family member? Certainly Grandma Marge enters my thoughts a lot of times. Like I said before, this is a privilege to care for the people that we're caring for. So we want to do the best job that we possibly can for those people. I think my grandma would be proud. She was just the wonderful grandma. She was proud of, if I got a B on a report card, she was proud. So, to see, I think, some of the things that we're able to do, to see some of the things that as a team we're able to accomplish, I think she'd be real proud. The things that I love to see and hear at Azura are the things that make my day are when I walk in and I see life, and I see people engaged, and I see people happy, or even seeing people who are having tough days, but to see a caregiver helping them through that tough day and coming up with some different ideas and some different solutions to make that day better. This is not just a place where you drop grandma or grandpa off and that's it. There's still so much life and so much joy and so much happiness that our residents still have in them, that it's really our job to help kind of bring that out. And so when I walk into an Azura community or an Azura home, I want to see that, and I want to see some of that joy and see some of that happiness that's happening there. I think Azura is continuing to expand because there's a need, frankly. There are a lot of places who don't necessarily specialize in providing dementia care and Alzheimer's care, but they're still doing it anyhow. Whereas, this is an opportunity for us to try new things, to try new ideas, and to really bring a different level of service and a different level of care to the communities that we serve. And there's still plenty of communities out there that we're not in yet, and that need this type of care that we provide. I would tell them that we're not perfect by any stretch. We're a group of people who are brought together, I think, by a common vision, a common purpose, and we work hard at it. As a group and as a company, we're continuing to grow, we're continuing to learn, and we're continuing to try to progress. We will strive and to do everything that we can to treat your loved one the same way that I would treat my grandma Marge or one of my loved ones. If you're a prospective team member thinking about joining Azura, it's a wonderful opportunity. I think we're creating a different kind of company here. We have a sense of mission, a sense of purpose, We work really hard to live by our core values. I think these are terrific environments to come to work and to make a difference. You know, if you're thinking about coming to Azura, there's an opportunity to come here and work, and there's an opportunity to make a positive difference, a real positive difference in so many people's lives. And if you want to become and be a part of that, there's opportunities available for it. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of long hours. But at the end of the day, there's a real opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives when they need it the most. To our current team, I would say thank you. This is a really tough job. It's a tough responsibility. We're not perfect by any stretch, but the dedication and the effort that I see from our current team members when I go into our homes, I'm in awe of a lot of people. I'm in awe of a lot of people, a lot of caregivers who work for Azura, who frankly have families of their own, who have issues of their own, but they're able to set those aside and come into the Azura home and really provide exceptional care to those residents. So it takes a really, really special person, I think, to come in and do what they're doing. From my perspective, I feel a lot of gratitude. If I had to say one thing, it would be thank you. Thanks for joining Azura. Thanks for being part of something different, for being part of something special, and for making a real difference in our residents' lives. I think the thing that sets Azura apart is the people. I formed Azura, we started off with, our core values. And so we've got five core values that we strive towards at Azura, that we consistently recognize people for. I think it's those values that honestly attracts and keeps some of the best people, which in turn makes us different than a lot of the other people out there, a lot of the other providers out there. So the difference is the people. We spend a lot of time looking at the buildings and the design and the location and things like that. But the bottom line is after a family has a loved one who stays here with us, the first thing that they'll do is, especially like in this new building here, they'll talk about the building and they'll talk about how nice it is and how nice the finishes are. But a year from now, the only thing that they'll really be talking about is the people that they met here, the caregivers that they got to know, the cooks, everybody else. It's all about the people. So I think at first, a lot of it is sort of the what you see and what you feel and what you hear. But after a little bit of time, it becomes all about the people. Team Azura, thank you for all you do. You are exceptional.